This presentation is for students who are looking to earn money to pay bills through self-employment. If you are interested in graduate jobs or careers or being directly employed, there are other presentations available. Please note that if you are an international student, it is highly unlikely you would be allowed to work in a self-employed capacity. You may wish to check with the UK Council for International Student Affairs for more information. If you are directly employed by an organisation, your employer will usually pay your tax and national insurance for you. Once you are self-employed, the legal obligation is on you to declare your earnings directly to the tax office. To register as self-employed, you need to go to the gov.uk website, set up as a sole trader. And the process itself is quite straightforward, it's quite simple, you can do it all online, and there's some useful guides there to show you how to do it. You can also be employed and self-employed at the same time. So you can work in a job employed by an organization, as well as being a separate self-employed sole trader in your own capacity. There's lots of advice on the gov.uk website and other websites to look at in relation to this. Just remember that tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is most definitely not. Many self-employed people will find themselves working within the gig economy. This is an economy that is typified through short-term contracts, where as a self-employed person you've got fewer employment rights, and therefore there's no obligation on any employer to give you work, and they can just let you go whenever they wish. However, it does allow you some flexibility to work for different employers, and can actually suit your lifestyle and generate income quite quickly. Many opportunities within the gig economy can be found just by searching jobs websites. So these are jobs that I found on Indeed, but all of them require you to be self-employed. So self-employed utility field officer, which I think is the person who goes around checking your meters for electricity and gas. Cleaning operatives, delivery driver, self-employed inventory clerk, they all require you to be self-employed, and therefore if you wish to be employed directly by an organisation, you would not be applying for these. As a student, you can develop lots of skills that are very desirable within the freelancing marketplace. I've come up with a few suggestions here, and there are probably lots more as well. But there is always a demand for research skills, admin, Excel, for video editing, podcasting, things like that. And if you have these skills, you can make money by selling them. If you're interested in trying out some freelance work, there are some platforms available for you to use to access potential clients. Using a website like People Per Hour can help you secure clients, but also keep you safe, in that the client will pay the money to the website, who will then send it on to you once the job is successfully completed. It allows you to do some research into the prices your competitors charge, but also on how they market themselves. So have a look at some of the more successful freelancers on those sites and replicate some of their techniques they use. You might be concerned that you're in a pool of global freelancers, but don't worry about it, because many buyers are looking for somebody who is more local, who understands the culture, the background of the individual. So you will find many UK-based clients will be looking for a UK-based supplier. There are, of course, charges for using these platforms. You sometimes have to pay for bidding rights, and there may be a commission as well. But have a look at People Per Hour, Fiverr, Etsy. I've included in the slide here a screenshot of some of the jobs that you can bid for on People Per Hour. And with most of these sites, you can both sell or you can bid when a client puts up a proposal, a project. And if you are particularly keen on freelancing and you decide it is something you wish to pursue, it might be worth having a look at the Association of independent professionals and the self-employed, IPSE, who are available to support freelancing and self-employed people. Now we look at hustles. A side hustle is something that generates money in addition to your normal job. I don't like the word hustle because it sounds too casual. The reality is, if you are hustling in this capacity, you have to be professional and abide by business rules. But developing a hustle, though, is a great way of generating money and also of dipping your toe into something that could be quite exciting in your future as well. There will usually be an initial investment of some sort to buy stock or to buy into an existing system. And of course, to remember the tax man as well. There are lots of resources online from people who do these things, and you'll get people quite honest usually about their experience, the good and the bad, and so you can learn quite a lot and try not to make the same mistakes that others have made too. So one of those hustles might be what we call flipping or reselling. That's where you buy from different sources and you sell them on eBay or Shopify or Amazon. There are online auction sites like John Pye Auctions, and there are many others too. But a lot of people are finding things like Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree are good ways of sourcing stock. And under the COVID-19 lockdown and beyond, the requirements, the social distancing required to do this might get slightly easier. When people list products on eBay, they often make mistakes with the spelling, and therefore the items never sell. There are a couple of apps, both on Android and iOS and here online, that you can use to find misspelt items that you can usually buy a lot cheaper than they would elsewhere, which means you can buy them and then make a profit when you sell them on again. You would need to have some storage facilities available. That could just be space in your own room or something bigger, longer term. I've also included here two YouTube resellers. So they buy stuff and they sell it online. The top one is a lady who is a full-time student and mother who needs to earn some money. And then the one below is a lady who specializes in reselling clothes. Another hustle is dropshipping, and that's where you buy the stock but you don't actually hold it. It's held by the supplier or by a distribution center. In the past, this has generally meant buying stock that's currently in China to be sent to the UK, although nowadays there are far more distribution centers around Europe, and so it might be that the product is already within the EU or over in the UK. You can find products to sell on websites like Big Buy EU and Wholesale Deals, and effectively what you are doing is buying the product in advance, you're selling it, and you are then getting it dispatched direct to the consumer from the warehouse. If you use Shopify, they have their own shipping agent. You don't have to use them, but they are worth looking at. Dropshipping is very easy to access. You can get started within a day, but the profit margins are increasingly low, and there are lots of people doing it, so you need to find your niche. And finally, network marketing or multi-level marketing. This is where you become an agent for a company to sell their products locally, and you send off a small fee and you'll get your initial pack, and you are encouraged then to sell to friends and family. I would strongly discourage that because it's a very good way of ostracizing yourself or losing friends. There are some great brands out there and there are some very successful models in this, but you won't earn very much money. It takes a lot of work to earn money properly, and there are very occasional success stories. The business model is generally quite controversial, and if you look online, there are lots of websites that are against multi-level marketing companies, but also some that have some very good advice for those who are doing it too. So do consider it if you're looking for a little bit of pocket money, but not to earn huge amounts of cash. So I hope that has given you some ideas of how to make money through being self-employed. There are, of course, many other opportunities out there, and being self-employed gives you a lot of flexibility to approach companies and organizations that you might wish to work for long term. Just remember to follow the HMRC regulations, keep yourself right, because if you don't do that, it could really hinder your prospects later on when employers are looking for references and to validate the work you've been doing. If you have any questions, speak to the careers team and get advice on the opportunities you're looking for.